You exist right now because thousands of your ancestors survived long enough to pass on their DNA, despite living in a world that was actively trying to delete them. Today, your version of peak suffering is a $50 parking ticket, a laggy Wi-Fi connection, or your DoorDash being delivered to the wrong house. You have a mental breakdown because your smartphone charger is slightly fried. But if we rewind the clock just a few centuries, your bad day wouldn't involve a manager or a customer service rep. It would involve a guy in a black hood holding a heavy iron club. For most of human history, punishment wasn't a legal process or a path to rehabilitation. It was halftime entertainment. Civilizations didn't just want you to stop stealing shoes or talking back to the king. They wanted to turn your physical body into a grotesque road sign to remind the neighbors exactly who was in charge. Today, we are performing a deep dive ranking of the most creative, mechanical, and visceral ways humans have ever found to ruin each other's lives. We're moving from Tier D to the absolute nightmare of Tier S. By the end of this, you'll be so glad you're barely evolved and living in the age of Netflix instead of the age of the Brazen Bull. Tier D, the beginner brutality. We start in Tier D with the Iron Boot. This was the HR meeting of Renaissance Europe. If the authorities thought you were lying about a crime, or they just needed someone to blame for a bad harvest, they'd reach for the boot. Your leg would be forced into a heavy metal or wooden casing so tight you could feel the pressure before they even started. Then, the executioner would hammer thick wedges into the gap between your shin and the boot. Each strike shattered bone, squeezed flesh, and turned your leg into literal pulp. Some luxury versions even added red-hot coals inside the boot, so you were being grilled and crushed at the same time. It's like a spa day if the spa was run by people who genuinely hated you and wanted to see your shin bone as a liquid. Next in Tier D is ancient Rome's Poena Cullei, or the punishment of the sack. If you killed your own parent, the Romans decided you did not deserve to die among men. They'd sew you into a leather bag with 4 roommates: a dog, a snake, a monkey, and a rooster. They'd tie the sack shut and toss it into a river. It wasn't just drowning, it was a 2-minute maul fest by 4 terrified animals who hated the situation as much as you did. Now we move to Tier C, where things get mechanical. In 17th century France, killing your father was seen as a cosmic offense, like slapping God in the face. The punishment was the breaking wheel. You were tied to a massive wooden wheel, limbs splayed like a starfish, while executioners shattered your bones with iron clubs. They weren't trying to kill you fast, they were trying to keep you alive just long enough to fold you like human origami between the spokes. Sometimes they propped the wheel up on a pole so the birds and the sun could finish the job while you were still technically in the game. In 10th century China, they perfected Lingchi, or death by 1,000 cuts. A government-appointed pro would remove pieces of you, skin, muscle, tendons, in stages. They specifically avoided your arteries because if you bled out too fast, the show was over. The final cuts were often to the face, left until the end so the crowd could watch the person suffer as themselves, not as an unrecognizable corpse. Some victims reportedly remained alive for over 24 hours while being systematically disassembled. Tier C also includes the Ottoman Empire's favorite tool for deserters, impalement. They would use a greased wooden stake to slowly lower a victim down, carefully avoiding major organs. The goal was to let gravity do the work over the course of a full day. Some accounts say soldiers lived on that stake for more than 24 hours, staring at the horizon while the stake passed through their body inch by inch. Tier B is for punishments designed to delete you from existence. Welcome to the Oubliette, from the French word oublier, to remember. This wasn't a prison, it was a vertical hole in the floor of a dungeon. They'd drop you in, slam the trapdoor, and your world ended in total darkness. Some were so small you couldn't stand or stretch, forcing you into a crouched position until your spine gave out. You stayed in that hole, standing ankle deep in a cesspit of human waste until hunger or madness took you. At what point in a dark, waist-deep pit of waste do you think you'd start regretting that stolen loaf of bread? I'm guessing it's around the time the first rat starts checking your toes for snack potential. If the oubliette was too passive, Islamic Persia had sawing in half. But they did it with a twist. They'd tie you upside down. This kept the blood in your brain, ensuring you stayed conscious for as long as possible. two executioners would start a two-man saw at your groin and work their way down. Because you were inverted, your heart kept pumping blood to your head until the saw reached your chest. Every nerve stayed online until the very end. In Tier A, punishment becomes art. 1500s England gave us hanged, drawn, and quartered. First, you were dragged through the streets by a horse, face scraping the dirt. Then you were hung until your eyes were bulged, cut down while you were still breathing. And then, while you watched, they'd slice you open and pull your intestines out by hand. They'd often burn your guts right in front of you. Then there's the Brazen Bull of ancient Greece. You were locked inside a hollow bronze bowl, and a fire was lit underneath until the metal turned into an oven. Your lungs would collapse as the air inside turned to steam. The bull's head was equipped with tubes that turned your screams into the sound of a roaring animal, so the crowd outside could enjoy the musical show without feeling bad about the person being cooked inside. Finally, we reach Tier S. The S stands for seriously. How did we think of this? First, bamboo torture. Bamboo is one of the fastest growing plants on Earth, strong enough to crack concrete. They'd tie you over young, sharpened sprouts. Within 24 hours, the plant would literally drive itself upward through your skin, muscles, and organs. You became a human garden bed for a natural spear trap, being skewered alive inch by inch. But the absolute winner, if you can call it that, is Scaphism, the Persian death by boats. They'd lock you between two wooden boats, leaving only your head and limbs exposed. They'd force-feed you massive amounts of milk and honey until you developed uncontrollable diarrhea, then coat your face and genitals in more honey. You were left in a stagnant swamp where the sun fermented the waste and attracted swarms of flies. Larvae would hatch and burrow into your skin, turning your body into a living breeding ground for rot. One man reportedly survived this for 17 days, rotting from the outside in while flies laid eggs in his eye sockets and rats chewed on his lower body. So the next time you think the world is ending because your vibrant green wallpaper is peeling or your stiff high collar is a bit tight, remember your ancestors. You are the miracle they fought for. You are the result of people who survived the most miserable times so you could sit in an air-conditioned room and watch a video about Scaphism. Even in modern times, we see echoes of this total control. In North Korea, the 3 generations of punishment means that if you commit a crime, your children and grandchildren are sent to labor camps with you. The system is designed to delete the legacy of the disloyal. If you're glad you aren't human origami today, hit subscribe. Or don't. I'm not going to flail you for it.